Hey, come see us do live shows January 3rd in Los Angeles, Honolulu after that, Baltimore, Maryland, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. Hey, this is Jimmy. Who's this?
Hello, Jimmy. This is Senator Mitt Romney.
Hey, hey, Senator. But you're not going to be senator much longer.
Right you are, Jimmy. I only have about a month left in office as senator from Utah. And after that, I'll be hanging up my senatorial mantle. Actually, we don't really wear anything special. But between now and then, I will be trying to solidify my legacy as the conscience of the Republican Party.
Yeah, the conscience of the Republican Party?
Yes, that's a little thing I made up for myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to stick by dropping it casually into conversation, but that's just how I roll. The conscience of the Republican Party. So far, it's not working, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no worries. I'm still undaunted. I'm almost wholly immune to daunts. And as such, I will continue to provide moral leadership to my fellow Republicans, even after I leave office.
Is that so?
Oh, absolutely, Jimmy. Jimmy, I recently sat down with CNN's Jake Tapper for a lengthy interview about my long and storied political career.
Jake Tapper, friend of the show.
Oh, yes. I've always found him to be a most respectful and respectable gentleman. I enjoyed our conversation greatly, but the main takeaway was about the future of the Republican Party.
And what are your thoughts on that?
Well, as I told Mr. Tapper, Jake, the lay of the land is this.
What the fuck?
MAGA is the Republican Party now. The Republican Party is Donald Trump. That's just the way it is. Now, I don't care much for Donald Trump personally, and I never made much of a secret about that, except when I was captured in a photo next to him with a shit-eating grin on my face. But he is the president, and we have to respect that situation.
So that's your moral leadership? You just accept the status quo at all costs?
Oh, absolutely, Jimmy. I've always been a big status quo guy. I got really into quo in college, and I've been a huge fan ever since. Once you establish the status quo itself as having inherent moral value, you have laid a foundation for a life where you never really have to think about things too much. And that's a very nice feeling.
I bet. Interesting.
It really is the way to be. Ironically, I came to this conclusion while a young Mormon missionary in France. I rode around on a bicycle for a year, trying to convince French people to give up coffee, wine, and fornication. Not only did I not get a single solitary convert, but I was told to go piss in my own mouth so often that eventually I started to say it along with them. These frogs were committed to the status quo, but they were happy. They never had to think about new ideas because they had their insufferable Frenchness.
Okay, but what's your point?
My point is that's how we as individuals should see the world and how political parties should operate. That's why we'll never really overhaul healthcare, because it would be too much of a change for too many people. Medicare for all? How about you go piss in your own mouth?
Wow, okay.
And since we have Donald Trump in office for a second term, he is the status quo, which means he is good. I don't like him, but he's good. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Yeah, probably not to you. You're more of a I like to change things kind of guy. That's the kind of guy you are.
I am a let's fix our broken system kind of guy, Mitt.
Okay, but fixing broken things is technically still change.
Yes.
After a while, a leaky faucet can be part of the ambience of a household, and one might forestall fixing it for that reason.
Are you comparing millions of Americans dying without health care to a leaky faucet?
Yes, in the sense that I don't have to deal with either one.
Well, good for you, Senator.
Thank you. I've worked very hard. And since we're on the topic of the status quo, there's a long-standing tradition that I enjoy that qualifies as quo.
Yeah, and what's that?
Jimmy, remember when I used to end our little chats with hurling a string of obscenities at you?
I certainly do.
I'd call you a filthy cockbag or a shameless dog fucker or some such filth.
I remember well.
I tell you to go get fucked by a pack of monkeys who just escaped from a lab, infected with God knows what, or get spit roasted by 2 killer whales at SeaWorld while children watch and laugh and clap. You know, some sort of bestiality thing nearly every time.
Yep.
Well, traditions are a part of the status quo, and they should be continued thoughtlessly for that sole reason. And for that reason, this blessed holiday season, I would like to say, Jimmy Dore, go fuck yourself. You hobo-blowing, herpes-spreading, salad bar sneeze shield licking, teen prostitute murdering piece of fucking shit. And Merry Christmas from the Romney family.
Merry Christmas to you and yours. Hey, come see us do live shows January 3rd in Los Angeles, Honolulu after that, Baltimore, Maryland, Atlantic City, Cohoes, New York, and Providence, Rhode Island. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.